Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our session on organisational disruption. Today we'll explore what disruption means for organisations, why it matters, and how businesses can prepare for it. We'll begin with the idea of business threats, factors that can reduce performance, revenue, or stability. Some threats are predictable and come from inside the organisation, while others are sudden and come from outside, like technology shifts, economic downturns, or natural events. Across this lesson, we'll look at both foreseeable and unforeseeable risks and the main causes of disruption, ranging from new opportunities and innovation to customer issues and seasonal changes. By the end, you'll have a clearer sense of how organisations can not only manage disruption, but sometimes turn it into an opportunity. Understanding business threats. When we talk about business threats, we're referring to anything that might interrupt how an organisation performs or generates revenue. These threats can reduce profits, disrupt daily operations, and ultimately affect how satisfied investors and stakeholders are with the business. Now here's something important. Every organisation faces threats. It's part of doing business. What matters is how well the company prepares for them. Some risks can be predicted and planned for, while others come as a complete surprise. Think of it like driving a car. You know traffic jams are likely, that's predictable, but a sudden road closure or storm is less predictable. A business faces the same dynamic, foreseeable risks and unforeseeable risks. Our goal in this topic is to understand both types so we can prepare and respond effectively. Understanding business threats. A business threat is anything that can disrupt how a company operates or earns revenue. It could reduce profits, interrupt normal work, or weaken stakeholder confidence. We usually group these threats into two types, foreseeable and unforeseeable. Foreseeable threats come from inside the organisation, like staff issues or damage to assets. Unforeseeable threats come from outside, such as sudden technology shifts, economic downturns, natural disasters, or political changes. Every business faces both kinds of risks. The key is how well an organisation prepares and responds. Foreseeable threats, human factor risk. Let's begin with the first foreseeable threat, human factor risk. This simply means the challenges that arise from people, whether inside the company or connected to it. For example, if employees become ill or injured, production drops. Other issues might include union strikes, dishonesty, or ineffective leadership. It's not just staff either. External partners can cause disruption too, like a supplier failing to deliver or customers not paying their bills. Each of these situations places extra strain on the business and interrupts normal operations. A good way to think about it is this. People, employees, managers, suppliers, or customers are at the centre of business. If something goes wrong with people, there's usually a direct impact on productivity and profits. So what happens when human factor risks aren't managed well? The consequences are serious. Lower productivity, temporary shutdowns, and a loss of profits. Take the example of a strike. Even a short strike can close a company temporarily, meaning lost sales and unhappy customers. Or if a key manager suddenly leaves, relationships with suppliers or clients might suffer. The good news is that because these threats are foreseeable, businesses can take steps to reduce them. Strong personnel management is the key. This means fair pay, good leadership, and empowering staff so they feel valued. When employees are motivated and supported, they are far less likely to disrupt operations. In fact, they often become more productive and loyal, which helps protect the business from these risks. Foreseeable threats, physical threat. Another foreseeable threat is physical loss or damage to company assets. This could be equipment breaking down, buildings being damaged, or even financial risks like unpaid debts from customers. For instance, think of a retail business relying on customer payments. If customers default, cash flow takes a hit. To guard against this, many businesses use credit insurance, which protects them when clients can't or won't pay their bills. In simple terms, a physical threat is about protecting the tangible side of the business, its people, property, and finances, so that even if something goes wrong, operations don't come to a standstill. Unforeseeable threats. Now let's shift to unforeseeable threats. These are risks that come from outside the company and are much harder to predict. They often blindside organizations and can be very disruptive. Unlike foreseeable risks, these can't be managed away completely, but companies can still take steps to limit the damage. Let's explore each of them one by one. Technological threat. A technological threat occurs when unexpected changes in technology disrupt how a business operates. For example, imagine a company relying on outdated software. If the system crashes, production could stop for days. Or think about businesses that ignored online retailing. When e-commerce took off, they fell behind competitors. To reduce this risk, companies invest in research and development, update their systems, and ensure they have skilled IT staff. By staying current with technology, businesses protect themselves from being left behind or suffering costly downtime. Economic threat. An economic threat happens when sudden changes in the economy impact business performance. This could be a recession, rising interest rates, or consumers losing confidence and cutting back on spending. For example, during the global financial crisis, many businesses saw their sales collapse almost overnight because people stopped spending. Companies can manage this risk by diversifying their customers and markets so they're not dependent on just one segment. Cost-cutting measures or shifting into different markets can also help weather tough times. Natural threat. Natural threats are caused by environmental events, things like floods, earthquakes, or hurricanes. Take a small retail shop. If a flood damages the building, it may have to close for weeks, losing not only sales, but also customers. Insurance can cover part of the financial loss, but it can't replace the missed opportunities or the downtime. This is why contingency planning is so important. Even though we can't control natural disasters, we can plan how to recover quickly when they strike. Political threat. A political threat arises when government policies or international events disrupt business. For example, a new tariff or tax can make it more expensive to import goods. Or, in extreme cases, war or trade embargoes can stop businesses from operating in certain countries altogether. Global companies are especially vulnerable here. To reduce risk, some use specialized insurance that protects against political events such as strikes, confiscation of goods, or sudden changes in trade rules, causes of organizational disruption. Now let's move on to the causes of organizational disruption. Disruptions don't all look the same. Some build up gradually, while others strike suddenly. They can be minor or major, short-lived or long-lasting. And importantly, disruption is not always negative. What matters is that every type of disruption, whether it's an opportunity or a challenge, requires organizations to be prepared and ready to respond quickly. The main causes we'll look at include new business opportunities, changes in the economy, advances in technology, the effects of weather and seasonality, shifts in laws or regulations, and finally, personnel and customer issues. Let's explore these in more detail. Disruptive technology, innovation, and business opportunities. One important cause of disruption is business opportunities and innovation. Opportunities can actually be positive disruptions. For example, imagine a competitor decides to sell their company. If you have the resources to buy them, your business could double in size almost overnight. But if you don't have the funds or agility, you might miss out, and another competitor takes the advantage. Technology works the same way. New equipment, systems, or software can boost efficiency and give a company a competitive edge. But failing to adopt them can quickly leave a business behind. So while these disruptions can create challenges, they also open doors for growth if the organization is ready to act. Seasonality, economic disruptions, and people issues. Other common causes of disruption come from the economy, the seasons, and people. Economic shocks, like financial collapses or sudden changes in credit markets, can happen overnight. During these times, businesses may suddenly lose access to cash or credit, making it hard to keep operating. Weather and seasonality also play a role. For example, floods, hurricanes, or extreme seasonal changes can delay projects, damage equipment, and create unexpected costs for repairs and extra labor. And finally, we have personnel and customer issues. The loss of a key staff member can weaken relationships and disrupt continuity. Similarly, losing a major customer doesn't just mean less revenue. It might also leave you with unsellable stock or unfinished work. The lesson here is that while many of these disruptions are difficult to predict, companies can prepare. Crisis planning, staff development, and customer diversification all help businesses stay resilient when disruptions strike. That brings us to the end of this section on organizational disruption. The key takeaway is this: disruption is a natural part of business life. It can come from inside or outside, be predictable or completely unforeseen, and it can be negative or even positive. The difference between failure and success lies in preparation. When organizations anticipate threats, invest in people and systems, and plan for emergencies, they can turn disruption from a risk into an opportunity.